Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Wednesday. You know what that means on a Wednesday is another new episode of your favorite podcast, the Inner Circle Podcast. Welcome, everyone watching at home, listening to us if you're catching up on the pod later on. And what's going on with my best girlfriend? Oh, hi, Green.
I hate when you say that. Hello, how are you?
I am good. I'm good. I'm happy because today we have special guests. We have a special guest today. He's an artist. He's a singer. Jordan Kale.
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 No,
You see?
Kale.
Yeah, Kale. You see, I was so into it with my head, like, we have him on today, coming out in a little bit. But first, let's catch up. How you been? I feel like we have, especially this weekend, I feel like I haven't seen you or spoken to you for a while.
We have tons to catch up on. I felt like us catching up throughout the week hasn't been enough. So we need like a little wind down soon. But my weekend it's been really good. Like it was the week right now, it's good so far, but my weekend was better. Went to go see Wakanda Forever. It was a good movie. The
Yeah, what
experience
did you
though,
think?
I'm not gonna lie, the first one was so much better. And I'm not just saying it because of Chadwick Boseman being there, rest in peace. Um, I just felt like the plot for this one was a little bit like too quick, and the soundtrack was like kind of upsetting. The Rihanna song is good, but I felt like
Mm,
you cannot compare it
you're
to
being
Kendrick
nice.
Lamar because that Kendrick Lamar soundtrack was insane. That was like 10 out of 10. And I felt like when I went to the theater, I'm an emotional person. I'm a Cancer rising and Cancer what is it? A moon. So like I'm emo sometimes, but not once did I cry. But there were people literally sobbing. They weren't like cry like tears coming down your eyes and you being like, "Oh." There were people literally in the back rows like sobbing like it was a funeral. It was so weird to me. And I think that kept like that was sitting in the back of my head while I was
Mm.
watching the movie that it kept distracting me. So that's I didn't really enjoy the movie experience. But all in all, I mean, it was a good movie, but would I say it was better than the first one? No. Definitely not. But I think that obviously not to give anything away, they're more than likely going to do a third one. So we'll see how that goes. But
Huh.
I
I mean, I feel like people are gonna kill me because some people, like even a coworker of mine, was like, "What?" And I told you, you yourself was like, "Huh?" Like I didn't really get into
you didn't see the first
the
one?
Black Panther, and I tried to see the first one like three times. One time on a plane, I fell asleep. Another time at home, I fell asleep. Like I attempted like three times, so I'm like,
That's weird.
it's not my thing.
I
I don't know.
but you like what did you see? But you like scary movies like fucking Scream
Yeah,
and
two
Hollywood
different
Halloween
genres.
ends.
Well,
But
Halloween Ends sucked.
yes,
It
it
sucked.
did.
But speaking of movies, yeah, I was in Texas this past weekend. I went to Dallas, and you know what kind of no, it was great. It was fun, but I experienced cold. Like the cold, we haven't gotten cold like that over here. The way it was Saturday morning in Texas, I was like, I fucking leave New York to come to Texas, and I still haven't experienced this cold. But I'm coming to Texas where it's supposed to be like during this, like it's hot down there, especially during the summer, and yet this is the most cold I felt like this fall
How
season,
was
winter
like
so far.
what was the temperature?
It got to 50s, mid to upper 50s, like for the weekend I was there. But like in that morning, like Friday when we got there, and then like Saturday morning, whoa! I was like, oh shit! Like I felt I was walking Gizmo, and I'm like, I went in shorts and a hoodie.
Mhm.
I felt like I was getting like what is it when you're outside too long?
Frostbite?
Frostbite. Like I felt my skin like I'm like, oh, this ain't it. This ain't it right now. Not in these shorts, anyways. But Texas was a lot of fun.
That
Music
sucks.
wise, did you listen to the Grammy nominations came out? And I want to talk about that and pick your brain about that. But have you listened to Raul Alejandro's new joint that he just dropped?
No,
I know
I
you like
haven't. I
him.
heard his I like him. I like him. I had listened to a snippet of it and I was like, okay, it's cute, but I haven't heard like he did his actual album drop.
Saturno,
Okay, so
yeah.
yeah, I gotta listen to it. But I
Songs
like him. I
to
think he's so cute.
check out for. He's a Capricorn as well as like our guest Jordan. About songs to listen for. Bendamenta, definitely check that one out. And De Carolina. I think you're gonna like De Carolina for sure. So definitely check those two out. Those are like the standout tracks. But I thought of you. I'm like, I wonder if she's listened to his new album. Now
I will.
The Grammy nominations were announced.
Mm-hmm.
Any surprises? Did you see the nominations? Did you hear about it? Beyonce, what
She
got
got
nominated
nine
9 times,
nominations.
which is the most altogether. Is like over 80 now, so she's the most nominated artist ever. Am I
She's
correct?
tied. I think she's tied with Jay-Z. But one thing that I did see is that um Bad Bunny is his album is like the first Latin or Spanish album that's been nominated for
Album of the
album of
year,
the
yeah.
year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. Hopefully, Bad Bunny gets it. But if Bad Bunny doesn't get it, I would like Beyonce to get it because both albums were instrumental to my summer.
Oh, to this year, yeah. Those two
To this,
albums
yeah.
I'm still listening to. Album of the year, we have in that category Adele 30, which seeing Adele, I feel like that she could take Adele album, Bad Bunny, like you said, Beyonce, Brandy Carlisle, Coldplay, Harry Styles, Kendrick Lamar, Lizzo special, and another one who got nominated. And I'm glad to see her. She's been in the game for years, so I'm glad to see her like still getting these like noms and credibility, credit. Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige got a few nominations for her Good Morning Gorgeous album. R&B. She's nominated for Album of the Year, also for R&B album. A few.
I love Mary J. Blige.
I have a feeling though. We all, I already seen Bad Bunny fans and Beyonce fans fighting. Watch it go to like some rando like Harry Styles.
I think that's what I was thinking. I think it's gonna go to Harry Styles. I don't know what he got that everyone is like so like crazy about him. He's like Justin Bieber glorified. I feel. I don't know. I like some of his songs, but I don't. I listened to his whole album, and I don't think his album was like that great. Sorry.
Best pop solo performance: Adele, Bad Bunny, Moscow Mule, Doja Cat, Woman, Harry Styles, As It Was, Lizzo, About That Time, and Steve Lacy, Bad Habit. Best traditional pop vocal album. I didn't know Diana Ross came out with an album, but Diana Ross, Thank You, Kelly Clarkson, When Christmas Comes Around, Michael Bublé, Higher, Nora Jones, I Dream of a Christmas, and Pentatonix, Evergreen. So I don't know, any people that surprised you that were nominated or were nominated? Nicki Minaj.
What? She wasn't nominated?
Snubbed.
Why, like, that's. I will say, you know what's funny? I was literally doing my makeup to Nicki Minaj earlier, but I don't know why she keeps being snubbed because she has bops. I don't know. That's just weird. But they're willing to give it to like Christmas albums. They need to stop doing that. That's corny. That is super corny.
We're about to introduce, and hey, putting it out there that this next person will be Grammy nominated in the near future and at the Grammy. Just putting it out there, putting that good juju out there for him. We're about to bring him on right now. Is our special guest. He's an artist. He's a singer, producer. We're gonna get into all of it. Jordan Kale. Did I say it right? Did I say it right?
Finally.
Yeah, you got it, Charlie.
Welcome to the show, man. Thank you for coming. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It's good. We're excited to have you now, Jordan. There's so much to get into. You're living in New York. You're like us, New Yorkers right now, living in New York, but you're originally from Sacramento, California. Yeah. So let's let the people get to know you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Sacramento, California, and what brought you to New York.
Wow. So yeah, I was born and raised in Sacramento, California. where the sun shines.
Mm.
But I recently moved to I currently live in Jersey, but I guess I've learned that Jersey and New York are the same thing since I've been here. As far as when you tell people where you're from. So yeah, I'm have been out here for a year and some change. I came out here because my partner lives here. I was doing a long distance situation, so I came out here to do something different, and I had a couple musical connections out here. So I was already planning to move. I felt it in my spirit that I needed to go somewhere, and I ended up here. Um, yeah, so so that's how I ended up here, and yeah, I'm an East Coast person officially now.
Yep.
Now, you said long distance relationship, and we talk a lot about relationships and such on this podcast.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Tell us, how did that work for a little bit? How long were you doing the long distance thing for?
For about a year. For about a year, and it was challenging. It was very
Mm,
challenging, and
I
it was
know that
very
for a fact.
expensive too.
Hmm.
mm,
But it was worth it. But it was worth it.
that's good.
When you're in love, you'll go the extra mile. So
Love wins. Love
yeah.
wins. So you've been here for, I thought you've been here in New York way longer. Wow. Now, yeah, I thought it seems it was way longer from like just following and stuff. Now, you said music connections over here. Like, what has it been? What have you found surprising coming to New York and get doing your music stuff? What have you found surprising meeting the people like in the scene, producers and stuff, like
Um,
versus California?
I would say, well, for one, it's a lot of minority culture here, like be it Spanish, be it Black, be it Trini, be it Haitian. We're all one, and you don't see that in California. There's not really any Haitian people. There's not really any island ethnicities. The most you get is like Black, or you might run
Filipino.
into a Jamaican or something. Yeah, you get Filipino. There's a lot of Filipinos there, so I'm very familiar with the Asian culture. So just being here for me, seeing so many people who are Spanish who look like me, making the same music as me, was really dope. And that was something that I've always dreamt of living on the East Coast. I used to lie and tell people that Jennifer Lopez was my cousin and I was from the Bronx in middle school. So like it was kind of like and people believe me too. I don't know why. But so it's kind of crazy how I ended up here. But yeah, just being here, the culture was different, and also the support is more genuine here in comparison
Mm.
to California. I mean, of course, you have Shadyville everywhere. Um,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but I would say for here, like people are more willing to take a risk on you if they believe in what you're doing, and especially if what you're doing is different. Like people will really be like, "Whoa, I need to put you here." You know what I'm saying? Like in California, it's more so like a cool kids club per
It's
se.
very
Mm.
pretentious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, well, okay, I'll put you on this show if you do A, B, and C, and then I'll never talk to you again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more of that there
Mm.
than it is
That's
here.
horrible.
I
Yeah.
believe that. I told you, my friend Tim, Melanie. You know Tim, or you've
Yeah.
heard me talk about Tim, who originally from the Berkshires, Massachusetts. Same thing. He went to LA for a few years, and he hated it. Like a lot of things you're saying, that like pretentious, and what could you do for me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the type of thing. So that's crazy how that's like years later, I'm still hearing like the same coherent story from people
Yeah.
and their
I
It's
think.
experience in
more,
Cali.
I would say here it's more us. Like, how can we
Mhm.
do this? You know what
I
I'm
Yes,
think
saying?
that
yes.
the difference between New Yorkers and people from California is that New Yorkers, at the end of the day, yes, they hustle and they might have attitudes, like people say, but
Yeah.
they always want to see each other winning, and they always
Yeah.
want to help each other somehow, some way. Everyone's always hustling.
Yeah.
So from what I've heard, even Barbie Byronique, who's a comedian in Los Angeles, had said that it's very hard to even get jobs or even network with people over there because it's like, what can you do for me culture. So I'm glad that you're here. Funny story, me and Charlie are actually from the Bronx. We're both born
What?
in the Bronx.
We were both
Yeah,
born in the
So
Bronx,
it's
same
destined to be.
hospital.
yeah.
Yeah, same hospital too. I keep forgetting what's the hospital, Melanie? I always forget the
It's
hospital.
called North Central. North
And
Wow.
Central Hospital.
it's still the same thing, or did it change?
It has a
The name.
different name. It has a different name.
Yeah,
I
from
forgot
when
what.
we were born. But
That's
which is, I make it sound like we're Asian, but we're
Like we
not.
were supposed to like be best friends.
awesome.
Exactly. Now you have a single, which I really love the single. We're gonna get more into it, time, but we're gonna talk about that more. And for people listening, watching, you're going to perform a little bit of it for us. So we're excited about that. But music as it's your passion. Obviously, you also produce, which we'll get into. Tell us about your influences. First of all, what got you into music? At what age did you start showing that interest into music and that passion? And what are your influences? Who are your influences?
Um, well, I've been doing music since I was a kid. I was born into a musical family. My grandmother and her sisters, they've had a choir like since before I was born. And I later, as I got older, I eventually joined them and sang with them. So everybody in my family sings. My mom sings, although she does not like to tell people, but she is an amazing singer. So I just like, I mean, let my mom tell it. Like I came out of the womb already knowing what I was here for. I was raised in the church, so my mom was a part of the choir, so she would bring me to her rehearsals and she was like really, really heavy into it. Like the choir would perform at all these places and I would be the baby being passed around and I was so quiet, I was so good, so I could go everywhere with them. And a lot of my earliest memories of music was like me crawling around the church floor while everyone was rehearsing, me sleeping by the drums, which don't ask me how I did it, but I slept through it. So yeah, that was how I really got my start was in church. And when I first started singing in front of crowds was at age 9 when I started taking vocal lessons, and my vocal teacher, Jasmine Hudson, she took me underneath her wing and she artist developed me. And I worked with her from age 9 all the way to age 20 or 21. So yeah, so I've been doing this a long time. As far as my influences, it's so many. I have a lot of gospel influences. I'll go in chronological order because growing up, my mom was heavily in the church and she would not allow us to listen to anything secular unless if it was old school, like Anita Baker and uh, Luther Vandross, Al
I
Green,
love
which is my
Anita.
grandma's favorite. My grandma loves Al Green and Johnny
Mm.
Taylor, like stuff like that. That was the only stuff I was able to listen to. So a lot of my early secular or well, yeah, secular influences were more old school. So I didn't really get into the current R&B. I was born in 1990, so I didn't get into the current R&B until like maybe like 97, 96
Mm.
around that time.
Mhm.
And I would sneak and go to my cousin's house. My cousin Deontay, he had like a huge collection of CDs, him and his dad. And every time I would go there, they would play stuff for me and we would just have a good time. And one of the first artists I ever heard that was not gospel was Aaliyah.
I
And so
That's so funny.
continue.
Yeah, continue. Yeah.
yeah, so Aaliyah is like I have a really, really strong connection with her. Like she has influenced me so much on so many levels. And
Mhm.
partly because she was like the first thing I was exposed to. It was Aaliyah, Timbaland, and Missy. Those were like the first people that I knew to identify. I knew who those people were at
Mm.
7. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Wow.
outside of the Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson and Oprah at the time, because they were running things back then. But outside of that, that was who I knew. And I was like, oh, I want to do what she's doing. Like, I want to have that cool mystique energy and
Yeah.
be everybody's homeboy, basically. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So yeah, those were some of my early influences.
Nice, nice. Well, listen, we're gonna talk more and stuff, but let's break it off a little bit and get to know you even deeper with a quick game of this or that. Melanie, this is your thing. Take it away.
I like games.
All right. All right. So this or that, you're just gonna pick from two options that I'm gonna throw out, and it's gonna be totally random. Okay.
Okay.
So first one, vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Netflix or Hulu?
Ooh. Oh, that's hard. I would say Hulu because they have more sitcom options. I love sitcoms.
All right. Same. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Countryside or city? You're a city boy now, so might as
Well, I know, right? I would say country boy. I would say country boy. Yeah.
Okay. Cooking or being cooked for?
Being cooked for, Chad.
I know that's right. I'll do the dishes.
Exactly.
Camping.
I'm the cooker over here.
Yeah, you are the cooker. You're the chef. Camping or glamping?
Camping.
Yeah, camping is fun. Roommates or live alone?
Ooh, that's hard to choose because I'm a Capricorn and I like both. But if I had to choose, I would say roommates.
When's your birthday? January
Christmas
what?
Eve.
Oh, Christmas Eve, like my stepdad. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm Aquarius, so we're like right next to each other.
oh yes, I love Aquarius.
My brother's a Capricorn too, and we get along.
I have an Aquarian sister and a brother.
Oh my god! And you're 1990. I'm 1989.
Hey, come on.
I know that's right. Okay, attend the party or host the party?
Host.
That's a lot of anxiety for me. I'd rather just attend and just leave. Hang out with little kids or old folks? I thought this was interesting.
Oh, that's hard.
Right? That's a good one.
That's very hard because old people, I love old people for the conversation,
Their wisdom,
and the wine, and the wisdom, the wine, all the W's. But kids, like, you can just be totally crazy and just do something off the cuff and they'll follow you or ask you why you're doing it, or you know what I'm saying? Like, kids have a little more fun.
Exactly. All right, and then two more: reality shows or documentaries?
I would say documentaries.
Same.
I would say documentaries. I'm always on YouTube watching stuff like that. So
really, not the conspiracy theories though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go too deep. I don't go too deep. I graze the surface. I graze the surface of it.
Exactly. All right, last one: boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Okay. Yeah,
Nice.
boxers don't be. Yeah, they be.
Yeah. I don't like all the flow.
Get it right, get it tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that was good. That was fun. That was a good this or that. We got to know the man a little better. Now you have a single out, and I really do like this song. Even the lyric, Butterfly, Michael Jackson, like it's like you took it back. Like even doing the reference, Michael Jackson, and when he came out with that was the Invincible album.
Yes.
Right. His last studio album, I would say. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was his last studio album. Yeah, and I remember that album. I was still in high school. So when you said that, when you like just that lyric, I was like, oh shit! Like it's a great song. Let's for anyone who wants to go check out. That's what the single looks like right there. Now, for anyone who doesn't know you, and we have our people who follow us and things, maybe watching, listening to this whenever. describe your musical style. We've talked about your influences and all that, but how would you describe your musical style?
Mm. Um, my musical style, I like to call it eclectic soul, because of the tone of my voice, you're always going to get soul. It's just the way I sound, you know what I mean? And I always sing from the heart. Um, but I also like to infuse a lot of different genres within one, but you're always going to get that main base of soul from me every time. No matter if it's a turn up track, it's going to be a little something in there for your soul.
You
Nice.
know whose voice you kind of remind me of if I close my eyes, and maybe if like probably when you first wake up in the morning, you
Who?
sound a little bit to me like Lenny Kravitz.
I love Lenny Kravitz.
I
That's a
love
good
Lenny
comparison.
Kravitz
Yeah, she
too.
loves Lenny Kravitz.
Oh,
She loves Lenny Kravitz.
I
oh my
love
gosh.
him.
5 is my favorite album by him. That's my favorite album.
Shut the front door. That's my favorite album too.
Come on, the
Really?
newfound BFFs right
Yeah,
here at the
come on.
circle, at the inner circle. That's what's up. Now, do you time is your single out right now, but you have other songs out there, collabs with people. You have a song called Leave, Boyfriend,
Mhm,
Moonstruck.
mhm.
Could you tell us about those collaborate? You like to collaborate as well. Like, could you tell us about that and all that fun stuff?
Yeah. So Leave in the Morning and Boyfriend are both by Louis Valentino, who's an artist out of Bay Area, California. He signed to Empire Records. He's a really dope engineer and a rapper. I met him through a mutual friend, one of my best friends who has been producing for me for years. His name is Chris Don't Do It to Him. We went to high school together and everything. And he introduced me to Louis, and we just got in the studio and just went crazy and created those. Moonstruck is another artist named Dusk Before Dawn, and
Hmm.
he is from Sacramento, my hometown. He's a Capricorn also, so that was how we really vibe. Like we really got in our mood for that song. But all three records were really, really fun to create. And when I did those records, I was in a duo prior to called Ode to Saturday, and we have been a duo for about 11 years, and we decided to like focus on solo projects and just show the world our individual selves more. And so when I recorded those three features, those were my first features alone without my partner. So yeah, that those records will always be near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, definitely check them out there, streaming on all your favorite platforms, Apple, Spotify. Go
Yes.
check it out. It's definitely dope. Now, to break away a little bit, let's get into more of the personal, man, which I love this. I love that I found this out about you. Back in Sacramento, you was working as a after school director for
Yes.
8 years. So you worked with kids, and as soon as I'm like, of course, let's talk about this. Like, I work with kids, and kids are very special. I don't have any kids yet. My dream is to have, or my goal is to
Yeah.
have one boy. So I love kids. Yeah,
Not a girl,
one.
a
I'm
boy.
specific. One and a boy. Listen, I love girls. Like, girls are so sweet. But it's too much, and I may
Even I
be.
want a boy.
Listen, I may be a gay man, but it doesn't mean that like I'm good with the hair and the makeup. No, a
Yeah.
boy, it will be my like little
No, he's
Ken
horrible.
doll, like my
Right. Right.
it will be my mini me. That I could do, but like a girl to do it, like no, I don't do all that. But what are we gonna just check out boys, girl? Like that's it. But that's so that's why I'm specific. One boy, and I have four brothers. There's five boys, so there's enough nephews, one kid. But anyways, it really touched me that you worked with kids. Tell us about that. Like 8 years. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How was that?
I It was actually something that I like fell into, because as I said before, I was in a duo called Ode to Saturday with one of my really, really close friends. Her name is Day, and we met through mutual friends, and we had started making music together and stuff like that. And then we needed jobs to fund that career at that time. So her grandmother owns a after school. She's a Black and Mexican woman. She owns her own agency. There's no middleman
Nice.
into it. She partners with the district. And so when I learned that, I was like, okay, whatever you want me to do, I definitely want to be a part of that. So she brought me on to be an instructional aide, and I just fell in love with it. I really fell in love with working with kids. I worked with, actually specialize in kinder through first grade. I worked most of my years with that. And so, yeah, once I did that and I did the instructional aid thing, I started to work my way up to assistant manager and then to program director. I oversaw about 3 or 4 schools in the Sacramento area. And I also ran a performing arts program that was within that agency. The agency is called Rose Family Creative Empowerment Center, by the way. So shout out to Jackie Rose, all of my family back home at Sacramento. I know some of you guys are watching this, some of the parents and the kids. Thank you guys for supporting me so much. Because, and that's the thing about being in the community, is that like everybody supports each other. Like all the kids and the parents knew what I did. They supported my music. They listened to it. Day and I took some of the teens when we released our first project, which was Every Day is Saturday. We dropped it in 2016. And before we dropped it, we took some of our teens in our Teen Unity program, and we had a listening session with them, and we let them choose what records was going to go on that album. And so that was a really, really cool experience. And yeah, I just love kids, man. And I just love helping them find the greatness that is within them. And especially in the inner city with the inner city youth and the people who think, the kids who think that they don't have options, and the students who are overlooked by teachers, and I'm gonna be real, and the students who are bullied by teachers. Let's be real, because that
It's
happens.
not just kids. It's not just kids on kids.
Kids. And just because your teacher has a smile on the face doesn't always mean everything. You know what I mean? And sitting in those classrooms and seeing what was really going on, it really like made me want to be better and really be there for those kids, because man, like they go through it in the classroom. A lot of kids who are deemed as bad that aren't bad. They're just either the teacher's boring, or the teacher's not captivating, or they just don't care about their jobs. You know what I'm saying? Those kids they fall by the wayside, all because of someone's personal feelings, because they didn't want to be at work today. And it's just sad. It's so sad, you know?
I love that, man. And that's very true. It's just like making a difference. You know what I mean? Just a little difference. Like, and sometimes I look at them and it's like, if you could just protect that innocence forever, but it's like, you know what, we were kids, and then we know what we're living as adults in this fucked up world. Let me stop the F's if certain kids are watching, if your kids are watching, but let me cut it with the F's. But no, but seriously, like, it's one of those things where it's like you wish you could protect their innocence forever, but isn't realistic. It sucks. But you're a man of many hats. Director, and also you don't only sing, but you also produce. So could you you produce a few artists. Let me look at my notes here. I had the two artists named.
I think that the best singers are producers first, I feel, or like they end up eventually being producers, because you get to hear your sound.
You produce for independent artists. And forgive me if I butcher the names. Help me out, Jordan. Julie. From Sacramento, and then Eli Liberty from Atlanta. You work with and you produce. Tell us about that. Like, you're the singer. You love to sing, but singing and producing are two different things. So, how is that for you producing, and what's the difference between getting up there on the mic and singing versus being behind the board?
Well, to your first question, those two projects, those were my first projects outside of Ode to Saturday because if you get a chance to listen to the Ode to Saturday music, all of it was produced by me. And so and working with your partner in crime, we have a flow going, you know what I'm saying? And for a while I didn't really have the confidence to really work with anyone else, you know what I'm saying? But then one day I was just like, you know what, this is what I've always wanted to do. Like Timbaland, Pharrell, Rodney Jerkins, Jimmy Jam, and
Yes.
I look up to them.
Yes.
And so I'm just like, if those are my guys, it's time to step into it. You know what I'm saying? So I started putting myself out there more on social media, letting people know that I produce. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, you produced that song? Like, I like that song that you guys did. I didn't know that was you." So once I started seeing that people cared, it like helped me go for it a little more. And so Eli has been a friend of mine on social media for many, many years. And so like one day we were just like, hey, like we both do music, right? Like, why don't we just do something? Because you know how you just kind of have small talk with people on social media and not really know what they do. And so we connected on that level. We did a lot of records together. One is out right now. It's called Odds. And he has a video to it. It released earlier this year. That was great. And some more music will be coming later. And Julie, I've known her like when I started out, me and Day, when we were in a 3-person group before Ode to Saturday, we were hitting the Chitlin circuit, performing everywhere, and Julie was there, and she was one of the artists. I met her back then, so we have a lot of history. So working with her was like working with my sister. Like it was really easy. Like, she was talking about all these boys she was dealing with, and I was like, girl, we gonna say this, okay? Like we gonna hit them like this, so that was really, really fun. I'm sorry, what was your second question?
No, it's funny. Well, it's funny because you just kind of segue into something, another question, which is like, as a producer writer, where do you draw? Because it's one thing as an artist, being a writer, whatever, but when you're producing and writing for other people, where do you draw that inspiration? Where do you draw the lyrics? Are you drawing from a personal self, what you're going through, or like you said, you're talking to an artist, like, and y'all talk about like the shitty relationships, and you're like, okay, girl, all right. Like, where do you get the material from when you're producing and writing for other people? Where's inspiration?
When it comes to other people, it really depends on the artist sometimes. But I do like to get a story first. You know what I'm saying? I want to know like what you want to talk about. So most times, like, we'll smoke or have some like wine or something and just talk. But some artists like Julie, although we have a personal relationship, she had specific situations that she wanted to speak on. And so she sent me an email and just kind of broke everything down. It was just like, it was literally like, okay, this is this guy. Okay. And this is what I dealt with this person. This is what I dealt with this person. And so I kind of like pulled out of what she was telling me. And then when we linked up, we got to elaborate a little more, but really I like to have the conversation piece and see where people are. But then sometimes I work with artists who don't know what they want to do. And I just want to work with them because I see a vision and I see something. So normally I come to them and be like, yo, it would be really dope if we do this. Like, I can see you doing this. How do you feel about that? Because the artist's feelings always matter. So I always want to check in with them. Like, because of course, I'm the producer and the songwriter. I could just be like, here, sing that. But I don't want to do that. I want them to be a part of the process, even if they're not writers. I still want them to be a part of it because at the end of the day, they have to sell the record and they have to represent it. They have to feel it. And if they don't, it's kind of in vain. You know what I mean?
I feel like if I was a singer, all the songs, if I had to sing about relationships or something, it would always be around Erica Badu's Tyrone song.
Oh Lord. I love
It
that.
would always be
Classic.
me too. It would always be centered around something like that or anything with Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh,
Oh boy.
woo.
Love
Now
her.
both of those ladies, they read the men down, okay? They
Yep,
read them down for filth, okay? But then they bring them
that's
back
what
to
I
blood.
do. Yeah. I'm like a little Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, funny. But right now, before we get into the music, you're gonna do a little song for us. I do want to play another game with you.
Okay.
This one, I guess, I mean, we spoke about some of your influences and stuff, but to get to know a little better of, your taste and who you rock with. This little game is called To Do It or Not to Do It.
Okay.
I'm going to go through a list of celebrity singers, dead or alive, that you
Okay.
would duet with. So it's either yes, I would do it, or I wouldn't. So you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Tony Braxton,
Ooh.
do it or not do it?
I definitely
Making
want to
me
duet with
high.
Tony Braxton because I have her tone together. No, but no, but really, I would love to sing with her because she has like a tenor alto voice,
She
and
does.
I have the tenor voice, so it would be really, really awesome to hear our silkiness together on a
Together.
and
And these,
featuring Tamar. I would be like, have Tamar sing the background.
well, someone Tony Braxton's worked with, to do it or not to do it? Babyface.
Ooh, now I'm gonna say not to duet because I want him to
Whoop.
write and produce for me.
Oh, there you go. All
Yeah,
right.
he's a
All
good.
right.
Hmm.
Whitney
My favorite.
Houston. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
say my favorite Babyface masterpiece was the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack.
Oh,
Continue.
Oh,
that's exactly what I
yeah.
thought about. That was why I was like, no, no duet.
Well,
Write
good
it.
segue. Whitney Houston.
Oh,
Oh,
Whitney. With Whitney, I would love to duet with Whitney because she's just that type of singer. If she hears you singing, she would just join in. Like, that's what we've seen her do a lot.
Yeah.
And Brandy's kind of reminiscent of that too. Like she loves to be a part of the singing. She doesn't have to be the lead or anything like that. Like, and with Whitney, it doesn't even have to be a professional record. I would just love to sit in a room with mic or no mic and just go and just sing.
Now, her ex-husband, Bobby Brown.
Bobby
Duet or not to duet?
I would duet. That would be fun. That would be
Yeah.
fun. Because I
he
would
could
make
barely
him
dance.
I would make him get back in his 90s, 80s bag. Okay. And I would make him bring back the hits because I would like to relive that and
Yeah.
just have a little nostalgic moment and passing the torch type of thing. I would love to do
All right, let's break off with some. It maybe seem random now with some of these names. Elton John.
Ooh, okay. Now that is someone I would say not duet. That's another person I would want to write. I would want him to
He's
write.
a
He's
writer.
an
Yeah.
amazing writer, amazing musician. So yeah.
Dolly Parton. We're going a little
Ooh,
country now.
Miss Dolly. I would collab. I would definitely duet with Dolly. That would be fun.
Come on,
He's
Island
a
in the
fellow.
Stream.
He's a fellow Capricorn like you, and a Latino, Ricky Martin. You could be
Oh,
his
we have
cousin
the
too,
same
since you went to the Philippines
birthday.
cousin.
Yes,
Yeah,
we have the
yeah.
same birthday as me. Yeah, I would love to duet with Ricky Martin. My favorite song as a kid by him was featuring Christina Aguilera.
Oh,
Nobody wants to be
nobody
lonely.
wants to be
Yeah,
lonely.
yeah.
We
Oh,
saw him in
yes.
concert.
Yeah,
Really?
in Vegas. Yeah, in Vegas.
Is he amazing?
Yes, he was great. He has the
Yeah,
same vocals like live. He sang that song and like she wasn't there,
but
Yeah.
yeah,
but
there was a
her
screen
audio,
of her. Yeah,
yeah, the visuals and the audio was impeccable.
yeah.
It was good.
Now it's funny because Melanie added this name to this list, and then it's funny. This is where his earliest little moment
I
had a
did.
moment. Aaliyah. Well, we already know this answer, but
Right.
Aaliyah, baby girl, Aaliyah.
I would
Also another fellow Capricorn.
I would definitely love to duet because that Capricorn energy on the track, and we just have that cool. We both laid back, and I know I'm a dancer too, so I know we would get some fire choreography. I would call up Fatima, okay, Fatima
Yes,
Robinson,
Fatima Robinson.
I remember
get
Fatima.
her in there, and we would just go.
Uh,
Timbaland, Missy, I need everybody in the room. Period.
Deborah Cox.
Oh,
How
oh,
did we
Deborah
get
Cox.
here?
Now I can't hold a candle to Deborah, and I feel the same about Whitney too. But um, I would definitely like to duet with Deborah Cox. Side note, the first time I ever sang in front of anybody was when I was like, well, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here came out what, 97 or something, or 98.
98.
So
One of those, yeah.
that
Yeah.
was the first time I sang in front of my grandma and her sisters, because they were the choir and I looked up to them and stuff. That was the song that I sang. So I definitely have to duet with her for that reason, because hello, she started it all for me. you know.
Sure
What
did.
about Maxwell?
Oh, Maxwell, duet.
Do it. Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, duet. And a, and
Bryce.
a, and a dance breakdown.
Oh, there you go. Bryson Tiller. Am I saying his last name right? Tiller.
Yeah.
Bryson Tiller,
Okay.
I would definitely. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna say not duet, because he's an amazing
He's a
writer.
good producer too.
Yeah, and a
like,
producer. I would love for
mhm.
him to make something for me for sure, because I feel like he shifted the sound of R&B right after Drake did. So I definitely think that would be fire.
I like how he
And
takes like old like songs. Like I think he took "Not Gonna Cry" from
Oh
Mary
yeah,
J. Blige.
yeah.
Yeah, he does. I like
and
him a
the
lot.
and the last one, and correct me if I'm saying his last name wrong too. Brent Fayaz.
Oh, Brent
Fayaz.
Brent Fayez.
Fayez. Oh, I
Yeah.
would love to collaborate with him because he has such a soft tone. He has such
Hmm.
a soft tone, and I could be soft too, but my voice is mainly heavy a lot of the time. So I think our voices together would be dope. And I love his concepts too, like because he has this one song called "No One Knows," and it's about this girl showing up to a show and he didn't want her there. Like I love concepts like that. I love it.
I haven't heard that song. I gotta look it up.
Yeah, it's called No One Knows.
I'll look it up.
All
That's
right. Well, one of the things I love going through your page on social media stuff, definitely follow him on social medias. He'll let you guys know all his social medias in a little bit. Is I seen a video where you just like you were somewhere and you just got up on stage and was singing.
Oh yeah.
Like I love that. I love that confidence. I know earlier we was discussing. You said you was as confident whatever, but then you're like, okay, I'm stepping into my power. Where and you're about to do a little something for us real quick, but where now do you find that confidence? Like you did stepping up there, singing at that. What was it? A restaurant or something? Like where do you draw that confidence from now? And what advice would you give people, anyone watching, listening, who has that passion, but maybe not the confidence to put themselves out there? Because even for myself doing this podcast, I've always had this dream and this passion since I was younger to entertain, be a host, etc. But it's finding that confidence to put yourself out there. You even said a little bit maybe before you wasn't that confident, but now you are. What advice would you give to anyone listening with the same aspirations as you, finding that confidence and getting up there and just putting your passion out there for everyone to see and possibly judge, unfortunately, in a bad way? But where do you find that? What advice would you give?
Well, for me, like where I learned to find it from was within me. I learned to do like affirmations. I love to do affirmations in the morning, especially because I'm not a morning person. So like me doing the affirmations and kind of like predicting or like manifesting how I want my day to go, that helps me a lot. And just like telling myself, like, and this sounds so cliche and boring, and people are like, oh, do you really say that? But like really telling yourself that saying I love you, like looking at yourself in the mirror
That
and
is
saying,
not cliche.
No,
you know
it's
what I'm
not.
saying? Like, and just telling yourself you're beautiful, and even the things you don't like about yourself, like, okay, I have a loose hair here, but thank God that I'm growing hair. Like, just little things like that really helped me keep my confidence. And just also understanding that there's no one else like me. There's no one else like Charlie. There's no one else like Melanie. Like, you know what I mean? And so, and there will never be. You know what I'm saying? There may be people who come close, but there will never be another. So that gives me confidence too, because it's just like, okay, so it's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. I could do this. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say. That's what I would say to people who are struggling to find that confidence every day, is to literally talk to yourself. And if you don't have
Mhm.
the words, like, just get in the mirror and just look and just stare at yourself. Because that's happened to me before too. Like, I've looked in the mirror and stared, and there's been times where tears have came to my eyes, and sometimes they're
Mm.
sad, sometimes they're just happy, like, damn, look how far we
Yeah.
came, like, or
Ooh,
damn, my
child.
face is clear today, like, you know, like that kind of stuff too. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes it's not even saying anything, and sometimes in that silence you will get a message, and you'll get a download that comes to you, and you know, and that'll
Mm.
help you push through the day. But I would just say being consistent with filling your cup every day, whatever that is, whether it's listening to a song that gets you lifted or whatever the case. If you do that
Absolutely.
consistently, you'll be able to get out in front of 1,000 people and do whatever the hell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I love that. Thank you for that. I really love that. Like it is true. I'm someone that does like the affirmations and
Me
sharing
too.
little nuggets, things to like help people. But you're about to get confident now because you're about to do a little sing for us, a little sing and a sing, and perform a little bit of your single time. So
Yes.
me and Melanie are about to yeah, go behind the curtains for a little bit while you do your thing as serenaders. Here he is performing his new single, Time, Jordan Kale.
Yes.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
You better hide me, boy.
woo!
All right, you're gonna
guys.
have to do it. You're gonna have to do it one more time because the audio was a little bit
Mhm.
shot. So I'm gonna need you to
Oh,
run that back and do it
okay.
again.
Are we gonna stay
Gotcha.
on just in case
We're
it
gonna
was
stay on
yeah.
because I want to hear it. But yeah, it was a little shot, so I want to hear it
We
again.
alive. We alive. And technical things happen. We alive. So give us a little another quick one, real quick, real quick. Because he has
Got you.
vocals. He has vocals. You got to follow. I follow him. I be listening to it, so he got vocals. So
Thank you, guys. All right. I can't write you out of my story. Somehow you always have a reoccurring role. Uh, I throw you out like a boomerang. You leave and come back to my soul. I broke your heart. You broke mine too. I'm a criminal, and so are you. Been trying to fight this case for a while, but no matter what I do, ooh, I just can't deny, yeah, the fire that I feel inside. Like a moth to a flame, I want you in my space. So I'm giving you my clock every time, every time.
Yes,
Come on,
yes, thank you for
Velvet.
doing that one. Yes, and that is his single time right there. Guys,
Thank you,
support the man. Listen, we support the big artists, the people like the Beyonces and stuff, but there are talented people that may not be out there like the Beyonces, but they deserve the support like the Beyonce. So make sure you
okay.
support this guy right here. Check out Time. It's an amazing, you have to listen to it. It's an amazing song. I'm in love with it. And all his other stuff too. You have collaborations like we discussed earlier, Boyfriend, Leave, anything. Where could the people find you before we go? This is the part that I like to tell people: sell yourself like a prostitute at church.
Like a
Crying.
prostitute.
Tell yourself like where are your social medias? Where you want spot your music everywhere that the people can find you, listen to you, and support you.
Okay. Social media. I'm Jordan Kale underscore. That's JordanKale underscore. That's my Instagram, and that's also my Twitter handle as well. You can find me on there. You can find me on TikTok at Luther Bandross underscore. That's my
Yes.
playful alter ego. And a nod to Luther Vandross there. You can find me on TikTok there. All of my music is on all streaming platforms. Time is on all streaming platforms. You can also, all of my people who've been following Ode to Saturday as well. I have a lot of music with Ode to Saturday out. If you haven't heard it, it's spelled Odeto Saturday. Lots of beautiful, uplifting music that I did with that group as well. And as far as my solo work, Time is out now. Go stream it. Go tell a
Check.
friend, tell your grandma, tell your grandpa. Slow dance to it with your lover.
Mhm.
Netflix and chill with your lover to
I was
it.
just about to say,
Mhm.
maybe that. Maybe that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm bringing love back and real love music. And yeah, I'll be dropping another single really, really soon. So just stay tuned to all of my social media outlets for all the updates.
Definitely stay tuned. Follow the guy, and hopefully, when the new stuff comes out, you come back and promote it and show the people. You definitely part of the Circle family now, okay? You
Yay!
definitely part of the Circle family. Make sure to go and support this guy, please. And also with us, the Inner Circle Podcast. We're on YouTube, on Facebook, on all your favorite streaming places: Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio. A follow, a like, a subscription. It's free and it goes a long way. All right, support your favorite local artists. That's what I like to say, and your up and coming artists. All
Yeah.
right, yeah. Then y'all can say, "Oh yeah, I was fucking with him, since back in the day."
Right, right.
Right. All right,
We all love
yo.
to say that.
Jordan, thank you so much for joining us today. We thank you so much, and hopefully we have you back again. Check out his new single, Time, out now. Melly, I love you. Next week, everyone, is our Friendsgiving episode. We have special guests dropping by. It's going to be a fun show before Thanksgiving. We're going to have some fun. So we'll see you guys next week. Love you guys.
Yes.
Peace.
Thank you guys for
Bye.
having me. Love you
Of
guys.
course.
Bye, of course.
My new bestie.
Yes.